Hey there, lonely girl, lonely boy. How are you? Good evening if you're watching live, but what time zone are you in? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Afternoon time in Australia. First on our list is Teresa Panel. Hi, Jack and everyone. Hello, Teresa Panel. There she is right there with Danny Smith, a Memphis Mafia kid. She just had her last craft show of the year, I believe. Christmas crafts, gifts for Christmas, etc., etc. But you can find her on Facebook, TEZA Treasures, TEZA Treasures. Hi, Karen Phillips. Welcome. Nice to have you on our special Monday edition of Worldwide Ramblings. What's going on with you, Karen Phillips? Christina Wilburn is here. Good evening, everybody. Hi, Christina and Patrick. Heather Feather is here. Brenda Noyce. Hello, hello, hello. Miles Wright. How are you? Hi, Jack and everyone. Um, and Joey Bauer Jr. is here. Hey, brother Jack. Great to see you this evening. Same as well for me. Kenneth Winters, who I just saw hours ago at Brother Bruno's with his lovely wife. Hello, Jack. How was the pizza? Delish. Didn't get any meat. Got mushrooms and peppers. Got a medium pie. And just had 2 slices each. And we took the rest home. And we got a couple of pepperoni slices for my tech guy, her son, Andy. So, yeah, it's always good at Brother Bruno's. You know that. Tez's Treasures on Facebook. What more do you want me to say? It's a crazy name, you know. Okay, did I say Teeza? Did I say that? I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'll come up with a better name for you, okay? Adam Davidson. Good evening, everyone. But I'm glad you corrected that. So that's how you find Teresa Panel uh, on Facebook, and you can see her stuff. Yeah. Nancy, this is a different Nancy. Where are you watching from, Nancy, with a bunch of letters and numbers? Hijack and all, welcome. Jupiter's Realm, one of our loyal regulars. Hijack and everyone. Good to have you here. And Zoo Crew, hello everyone from Middle Tennessee. How do I know when I'm in the middle? I don't know. Pam Donnelly, welcome back. Hello everyone. And you're in Texas, Nancy. Very, very good. Are you far from Round Rock and Austin area? The Zoo Crew. I'm going to get into content pretty quick because there are those that just tune in. Then I'll be talking to Ken and everybody else here, okay? But I know there are people that tune in just for. I don't have 20 minutes for you to go on and on. I've tuned in for the topic, you know. Hey, here's Marty Greco, though. Marty Dino Greco. I'm never going to forget that, Marty, just in case you're wondering. Here's Marty Greco, everybody. Marty Greco, who's recovering from arm surgery, took a fall at work. How you doing, Marty? Don't tell me right away because I'm going to content and I might miss it. I might miss it. So let's see here. Got so many tabs open. So many tabs. We call this crazy exclamation point. Will the real Bob Joyce please stand up? Please stand up. Candace turns ugly. We'll be talking about that. We'll have some laughs with the late, great comedian James Gregory, and we will talk about John Lennon. This is December 8th, 2025, 45 years ago. He was murdered outside the Dakota around this time in New York City, and I'll never forget that. So we will talk about the late, great John Lennon tonight and others. Your topics are more than welcome, more than welcome. So, yeah, will the real Bob Joyce please stand up? Please stand up. Ah, there I am. I see myself again. Nancy DeMarco. Hello, Jack and everyone. Welcome to you. I'm a lot better. Thank you for asking. Oh, that's good news. Uh, Marty Greco. So yeah, there's just so many of these Bob Joyces. Robert Wayne Joyce and Bob Joyce, Pastor Bob Joyce, that we see every Sunday at Household of Faith. But it's all in the eyes. It's all in the eyes. They are a dead giveaway. And we'll prove that later. Lots of pictures tonight and lots of things to get to. Thank you, Google Photos. I have some on my phone, but mostly it's Google Photos. And as I say, it's all in the eyes. Is that the current pastor of Household of Faith? Or is that Robert Wayne Joyce, who would be in his still early 70s to mid 70s now? Elvis's eyes are very engaging, very warm. Not his. And I think we see the same thing here with Robert Wayne Joyce. We see young Robert Wayne Joyce in the service. The eyes are more stern. Not that he can't smile and be happy in a picture, but those are two examples of the stern Robert Wayne Joyce. Young Robert Wayne Joyce, with I think a young Sabrina. Young Robert Wayne Joyce. He married Willena Hattie in 1975 when Elvis was still busy being Elvis. The wedding picture with Sabrina. Happier look there. Is that the man who preaches every Sunday at Household of Faith? I speak of possibilities. That's all they are. I could be wrong about the whole thing. This is the man who came to the door when Greg Pritchard, this is one of our most popular videos, wild new Bob Joyce video, 70,000 plus views right now. This is the man who came to the door. Well, first Willena answered the door. She was there. Barking Dog was really the first greeter. And then Willena answered the door, and then this man came to the door. Is that Robert Wayne Joyce right there? Do you feel that's the current pastor of Household of Faith? He is wearing, in all fairness, a shirt that is what the current pastor wears. Is that the same man? And we have other pictures, and we have video that he did. And then again, we have young soldier Robert Wayne Joyce, and we have Robert Wayne Joyce probably in the late 70s, early 80s, right here. Did either one of those men transform into the current pastor of Household of Faith? Got my favorite right here. My favorite other Bob Joyce, but let's go to the phone here. And then we'll move on. I'm not going to belabor the point. And you never know when we're live how it's going to look, how it's going to turn out. Because it could wash out like this, you know. Funny, when I do pre-recorded, that doesn't happen. If Neo's here, he'll be telling me to mess with the phone and eliminate that somehow. What I need is an iPhone. I'm convinced of it. You can kind of see. Some pictures show up good. This is from the video. Sometimes a Bob Joyce who appears to be different appears. Very successful video that you can find on my list. Sometimes a Bob Joyce who appears to be different appears. This one right here. He shows up in various videos, and some of the creators that are putting it up seem to think that's the current pastor of Household of Faith. What say you? What say you? This one right here, I think, has even been on the church website. Neil put this together with my background, but this doesn't feel right to me. Just doesn't feel right to me. But he does have the gap. I hate using the phone live because it lets me down too many times, unless the figure is very tanned, for example. But my favorite fake Bob Joyce is the man who looks like he swallowed the canary. And there are people that have put this up like, oh yeah, it's just like, this is how he looks on Sundays, Are you kidding me? Jose Feliciano could tell there's a difference there. Jose Feliciano could tell. And he could ruin Every Breath You Take by the Police by Sting. Sting had to sit through that at a tribute concert, I guess at the Kennedy Center or whatever. Various people singing his songs, and the look of pain on Sting's face as Jose, who's very talented, but he just didn't have it right with Every Breath You Take. Just didn't. I don't think he was out of tune and everything else. But that's always been one of my favorite pretend Bob Joyces. So there's many lookalikes, and I didn't show them to you all. So that's it. I'm not going to belabor the point anymore. Just want to do some content first before I start looking at the comments. Some new photos came in this week. You all remember when, I think this one we've shown before, when Pastor Bob filled in for me one week. Sure he did. Pastor Bob Joyce. Thank you, Neo. Are you here yet, Neo? Are you here? Pastor Bob Joyce. This new from Google Photos this week. The King of Rock and Roll, Mr. Elvis Presley. The King of Rock and Roll, Mr. Elvis Presley. Pastor Bob Joyce. Pastor Bob Joyce. New from Google Photos this week. And I got other pictures that I'll hold off showing you for a little bit, except we'll end our little first montage here with Pastor Bob Joyce from about 2011, a little chubbier, one of his early churches. And it's in the eyes. It's in the eyes. You can't fake the Elvis eyes. My personal opinion, it's Elvis. That's my personal opinion. But my opinion, and $5.75 will get you a nice coffee at Starbucks, should you be so inclined. Should you be so inclined. So there you go. We'll have more random pictures, and we have content on CANDACE and some thoughts about John Lennon and what have you. There's Karen. At Brother Bruno's, Ken Winters, at Brother Bruno's by the Coke machine. How could that be, though? Because the Coke machine is in front of the seating, except now when they move the seating to accommodate the beautiful job they do with Christmas decorations, it's different. Does anyone think that Pastor Bob Joyce and Robert Wayne Joyce could be twins? No. I don't, but that's just I registered my vote, Jupiter's Realm. Brenda likes the early picture of Elvis Presley. Absolutely. I'm just looking through the comments, and I'm going to start to go back now. Paranormal investigator, the South. I've seen him in Alabama at his concert, and it was so disappointed. You are the first person to ever say it was anything other than amazing that I have seen. I'm sure there may be others, but what disappointed you? Paranormal investigation of the South. Very interesting that you do that line of work. Brenda is telling us that her cousin Belinda is in the VA, still fighting her cancer. And in line with that, Brenda said, Jack, it's been since September 10th this year. My cousin Timmy is still in the hospital from that motorcycle wreck caused by the truck, still in a coma, but he has brain movement. So please keep Timmy in your prayers. This is why I have said a number of times that even more so in the age of the XYZ drivers out there, riding a motorcycle out on the public streets, public highways, is just too much of a risk. Once again, right here in the Hudson Valley, We had some terrible, terrible deaths, and we'll have it again next year. We'll have it again next year, and that's a shame. So I think that catches me up. Please pray for Timmy, still in a coma. Elaine Peterson is here. Hi, good evening, Elaine. Welcome. And you too, Neo Neon. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings Monday. It was nice to kind of break the routine of not doing a show on the weekend. We'll do one this coming weekend. I think Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. That's what it looks like now. I'll do a promo as it gets closer, but that would be uh, doppelganger. In what sense, Nancy? I mean, I know what a doppelganger is because Angelique on Dark Shadows was always creating doppelgangers. When, well, it was Nancy Barrett, one of her characters, staked Barnabas. It was really, spoiler alert, a doppelganger. The Barnabas was a doppelganger. Huh. Music was good, so there you go. Just don't understand how he gets Elvis's music. How he gets Elvis's music. I don't understand. Very crowded, and he's definitely not Elvis. So that's your take, and you know you don't have to believe as long as you don't antagonize. You don't have to believe that he is Elvis. There are just people all over the world that would feel that he is, and there are those that feel that he's not. I get that. What's short spin mean, Neil? Oh, you're not going to start giving me your tech. Get a better cable service there. I mean, get a better Wi-Fi or something, Neil. I mean, you're the tech wizard. You shouldn't be spinning. Spinning wheel has got to go round, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen with you. I'm always wondering when I don't see a name if they're still with us. So I don't know whether to tell my story or not. Well, paranormal, we're on a new channel. I've been talking about this story since 2018. 2018. I have presented dozens and dozens and dozens of coincidences, oddities, facts, and what have you. You know, did you notice if you were there in Cullman, Alabama, that there were people from all over the world there? I forget how many states. How many countries? States, was it 28? What do you think is going on here? What do you think is going on here? Is there any evidence I could give you that would change your mind? Often, when people don't believe, there ain't nothing you can say. There ain't nothing you can say. They probably belong to a group that doesn't believe, and there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say. Now, let me look at my pictures here and see. There's anything here. This is a horrible blurry picture. Both of these are horribly blurry pictures, but yet if you look, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. At George Klein's funeral in Memphis, Tennessee, George Klein, the Memphis disc jockey, he ended his career on the Elvis Channel on Sirius XM. Back in the day, he was on the AM station. He played a lot of Elvis there and befriended Elvis Presley. Elvis once called him his best friend, called him down to the Cadillac dealership. The Memphis Mafia were there with Elvis, and he handed them the keys to a brand new Cadillac and said, "That's for you, buddy. That's for you." Very generous man, Elvis Presley. So, George Klein, he lived a ripe old age, but he passes away, and they have a big, I don't think they did it at the Jewish temple. I think they rented a hall because there were hundreds there. And Priscilla Presley got up to speak. There are much better examples of this picture. I really should work on getting something better on this. But it looked like to the left, to camera left, was Bob Joyce and Matt Joyce. Why were they there? And Priscilla was in a row behind them, further down. And she was called up to speak. She didn't want to. She's shy, but she knew George. She loved George. She went up and spoke. When she did, um, she had to pass by the man with the white hair. And out of all those people there, she put hand on his shoulder. His hand on her hand on his shoulder. This is again, there's much better examples. It's grainy video from Graceland a number of years ago, but you can see pretty much the outline of who I believe very strongly is Priscilla Presley. And right next to Priscilla Presley appears to be Bob Joyce. There's other pictures of that. No, it's not the gardener. The gardener has the Bob Joyce, or we should really say what it really is, the Kenny Rogers look, of which I believe Robert Wayne Joyce adopted, and then perhaps the current pastor, who I feel are two different people, adopted. But to me, no doubt that's Lisa Marie, and this is a number of years. And there's grainy video that you can see of a little bit heavier pastor, Bob Joyce, potentially, if you so choose to believe that. Hi, Neil. Put her hand on his shoulder. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Here we have Elvis in Germany, serving in the army with a group of girls. One of them in the front is, I believe, Sigrid Schultz. And I believe Elvis has his arm around someone who was definitely his girlfriend for a while in Germany. And many people think that girl with the flowered color blouse, or whatever it is, looks a heck of a lot like Willena Joyce. Willena Joyce. We speak of possibilities. I could be wrong, but that's some of the things. And there's so much more. There's so much more. So in the video, The Verdict, my most successful video, I'm moderately successful. I don't get million views or 2 million views. I don't get Candace Owens type views, but I wouldn't want to do what she's doing to get them. But it's almost 250,000 views, and we tell the whole story, and there's pictures and what have you in The Verdict, which is now a number of years old, because as I said, I've been telling the story since 2018. And good night, Brenda Noyce. Brenda just stopped by for a little while, and thank you for doing so. Yeah, you met people from other places. He had his personal security there, like he has at the church, and also the Coleman, Alabama police. He left in a police car, according to Donald Stone. When the concert was finished, they escorted him out into a police car. And there's, so many other things I could talk about, but I can't capsule it here. but it is usually I notice when someone doesn't believe, they're gonna keep not believing, and that's absolutely your right to do so, you know? It's like, inviting someone to Christ. It's my job when the Holy Spirit prompts me to share Christ, but the result is all in the hands of the Holy Spirit as to whether, someone is going to give their life to Christ. You may feel the wooing of the Holy Spirit and reject it. When I think about John Carpenter, I want to hope that Elvis is alive and well. John Carpenter. It's not ringing a bell at the present time. I think that if Elvis Presley is alive, there's only one possibility, not John Cotner, not John Carpenter, certainly not the others that have been associated uh, with him, the imitators and what have you. Um, Orion, no, definitely not. Now, having said it wasn't Orion, there are a few people that think that at a particular Orion concert, when he took a break, intermission time, the person who came out on that stage with a mask to do the second part of the show was Elvis Presley. I don't know. That's just one of those things that are out there. There are 61 watching right now and 21 likes. 61 watching. Here's J Cat. Hey, J Cat. Don't want to miss you. I'm backing up here in case I miss somebody. Good to have J Cat with us. And we did mention Rita. I have my favorite Bob Joyce. I wish they would just let him be. Well, uh, I've heard that a number of times over the years. When you begin an international video ministry on YouTube in 2011 and all the stuff that's been going on lately, um, I really think that 2026 is going to be a breakout year because he has professional management now, LWC management. And I understand he's going to be going back into the recording studio in the spring. The Coleman, Alabama experience was a very big thing. What local Alabama pastor holds a big concert in a beautiful hall that does a lot of weddings and special occasions, Stonebridge Farms, right? And sells the place out quickly to have a table of 8 seat. In other words, 8 people dividing the price was $2,000. The VIP seating with a meet and greet like the ones at the table would have, the tickets were $275. Then next to that was what, 125, and then in the back, the cheap seats were $65. All came with a nice meal. But you only got a meet and greet if you were in the first two tiers. So that's sold out, and Bob was going to be there rehearsing all week. So they came up with the idea to do a Thursday meet and greet in Coleman, Alabama. And hundreds of people showed up for that. A little reception, some refreshments and what have you. The merchandise was there, and you got to have your picture taken with Pastor Bob. I don't think he did autographs at that one. Don't know if he signed merchandise there, but you could definitely have your picture taken with him. And Buddy McDaniel, there's an interview here. He was at that Thursday meet and greet, and we did a phone interview with him, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So it was a very big event. And I think in 2026, we'll see things happening. Now, more recently, with a major film crew, they did an event. We talk about this in a recent video. Go to bobjoycemusic.com and you can see the promo videos that they're doing. bobjoycemusic.com. Put your email in there, and then in your email, you'll start to see some of the current projects. You'll start to see some of the current projects. Can you order the Christmas CD there? I haven't checked lately. I'm going to check it in a minute, though, and we'll see what it looks like. You do your own investigations. Interesting that you do that line of work. I'm not going to totally poo-poo it. Because it would be hypocritical, since I've watched Ghost Adventures and I've watched some of the stuff online. In fact, just last night I was watching this English chap. Oh boy, he's got a blonde wife, and he's in the UK, and he should be on TV because he's got the talent for it. But I think he does his own thing, and he's just coming close to 400,000 subscribers. What the heck is his name? I should have wrote it down. But he investigates some places, because he combines what I love on YouTube is those abandoned places. I love to watch those abandoned places. I do. So go back down here. Oh, you're a female paranormal investigator. Do you work? You don't go in there alone, right? You have some, at least one or two others. Usually, it's a team of three or more. It's a team of three or more. So that's cool. Snowing where Neo is. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Yeah, snow is falling behind me. I think we're going to have a little snow on Wednesday, and but it won't be too much. We don't get what they get in Western New York. We don't get what they get in even Albany. There's lake effect snow in Albany. They had a fairly major storm. We had about 4 inches, and it's still on the ground, because it's been cold. It's cold right now. It's in the 20s, and it's going to be colder tomorrow. So I hate that. I love seeing his love for Jesus in his preaching. That's what it's all about. Here's Ken Winters. If you can't pay for an exorcism, does your house get repossessed? Ken is doing his comedy act. He's going to be up in, let me see, Bananas. Is that still around in Poughkeepsie? Bananas Comedy Club? I thought it closed and then came back, but I could be wrong. But they can't repossess an experience, They can't repossess an experience. So Ken was in Brother Bruno's when Karen and I came in this afternoon around 3 o'clock. I've never really showed you a picture of my first girlfriend. That's Monique. When I say I started with a Karen and I end with a Karen, yes, the first Karen was the real relationship. This was just a brief encounter when I was, working in Dunkirk at the Ralston Purina dog chow plant by night. And in the afternoon, I was doing my first radio job. This goes back to 1977, WBUZ, the sound of the country. But Monique was my my first love. But here's a picture of another true love I have. Isn't she beautiful? I'm thinking of ad libs that I would have used at another time in my life, and I'm not gonna say that, but isn't she beautiful, Ken? Absolutely beautiful. So, it was nice to see, Ken. I'm glad you're, back. 52 watching, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. That would be swell. If you can, please hit the, thanks button for any amount at all. Use a credit card for that, and, that would help us out. We're, behind this month of December. The best month we had this year was August. I'd like to see another August, um, but that requires more, pre-recorded video, so we'll see what we can come up with, um, this month, but, I don't wanna fake anybody out. If I have something good, I'll do it, um, but I don't want to fake people out. A saucy picture, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Helen McDonald from Australia is here. Hi, Jack. Very hot day here. Okay, sure, rub it in Aussie land, Thursday afternoon. Yeah, it's already Thursday afternoon, and, you're like a half hour time difference besides being, you're not like, say, what time is it there? Is it quarter to 2? No, it wouldn't be quarter to 2 because you have a half hour time difference, right? It would be 2:15. Here it's coming up on, 8:43. It is 8:43 East Coast time on December the 8th. So, but I tell you, yeah, we had a lovely pizza and brought home some pepperoni pizza slices for Andy because he doesn't eat peppers and he doesn't eat mushrooms. And I love the history of places. Sure, I'm a Christian and know my family goes. And no, my family goes, meaning that you don't go, yeah, you wouldn't go by yourself. You can't. You don't know who you're going to find in there. Besides the ghosts, you got to worry about homeless people that are not too thrilled to see you. I think you got to have some kind of a weapon when you go into a place like that. And of course, you can't really bring a knife to a gunfight, but I'm not saying bring a loaded gun. I'm just saying that, I have seen videos where they had an experience being chased through the building and what have you. So you gotta be prepared, you know? It's best to check out the place before you go and, show the audience, so you know what you're gonna face. You know what you're gonna face. And yeah, there's strength in numbers to a degree. There's strength in numbers, but, we really like Big Ben's, his, abandoned places videos and what have you. Let me see here. I have my, inbox, um, and, Cash App is the other way to, hit my virtual tip jar, which I always appreciate, always appreciate. We have a very small budget here, so, it's never, a big thing. I have no GoFundMe pages or anything like that. It's just a tip jar like you would tip your, waitress if you like anything at all. Jupiter's Realm hits the Cash App for $10. Love your humor. I feel I'm off tonight. I'm trying though. Elaine Peterson, um, as well, very loyal, just like Jupiter's Realm, $10 for a love tip. Makes me think of a Barry White song. Keep on doing it. Can't get enough of your love, babe. The round mound of sound. The late, great Barry White. Neo gave us some beautiful veteran stuff. Um, just got to have an appropriate time to use it. Um, Lucia Thu sent $10 on the Cash App as well. Cash App is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. I'll write that. And if you don't have Cash App, which I use to pay bills occasionally and to send money out and what have you, um, You have to link your checking account to it. I've never had a problem. Lowercase letters. Media Guy 56 is my handle on Cash App. Looks like Tim Spencer there. Hey, Jack from North Carolina. Yeah, I think that's Tim Spencer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you aboard. Jackie Organ, also from Australia. Hope the bushfires are under control. Have seen it on the news, says Helen. I always feel sad for the native animals, right? I feel sad for the native animals out there in the cold. We feed many of them. We feed, right now, we don't see all the cats are named after Dark Shadows characters, like Roger Collins, who we haven't seen for a while. We actually have a little house for him on the porch, and there's a heating pad in there, one of those round things you put in the microwave. So when Roger is around, Karen feeds him. That gets him out of the house, and then she takes the pad and heats it up. And if he lays right on it, it's good for like 3 or 4 hours. So he was living there for a while. Um, he he's kind of wild and surly and would not get along with our cat Willie Loomis. So he's just not acclimated, and feral cats aren't. So we have 4 kittens that were born this summer: Quentin Collins, Millicent Collins, um, Nicholas Blair, the bad guy from Dark Shadows, and Josette Dupre. And we feed them every single day, and that's not cheap. But so do the guys next door. Happy birthday to Dennis. Happy birthday to Dennis. We saw him in Brother Bruno's today. I guess you were still there again. And our next door neighbor, Dennis, comes in to pick up some takeout. And so we had a talk about the cats and what have you. And so we feed them. And then there's the raccoons. I never knew which ones they are because they all wear a mask, One of them's pretty fat, I can say that. And so we you don't feed raccoons cat food. It's not good for them. It can really hurt them, I guess, according to what it says on the internet. So I feed them dog food. I buy the dog food, and when we see them around, and then of course there's the birds. Got to buy the suet for the peckerheads. Have you ever met a peckerhead, Neil? Have you ever met a peckerhead? The woodpeckers, they come to the suet, and the blackbirds, when they're around, they can devour that. I'm glad they're not around all the time because they'll put us out of business, And then there's the regular bird feeder. And then let's not forget as many as 6 or 7 deer that we feed, you see. So we get apples. Ken knows about this. We go down to Soon's Orchard in the fall. We've been down there 3 times, and the critter apples in the back, they don't have any heat at Soon's. Have you ever noticed that, Ken? It's freezing in there. I don't know if it was just that day, but there was no heat in there. And the critter apples are 45 cents a pound. So I end up getting, like 4 or 5 pounds, and that lasts us a while. They're not big apples. That's why they're critter apples. They're imperfect, but they're still good. And then, of course, we rely on ShopRite the rest of the time. So the deer come around, and sometimes if we have bread, I tell Karen, don't buy too much bread. Nobody eats much bread around here. But, you buy hot dog rolls, and there's always a few left. So I spatter a little peanut butter on the hot dog rolls, and I break them up, and I throw them out for the deer. They love peanut butter. They do. Apparently, they don't have peanut allergies like Todd and Muffy. They don't. Love the place, right? The best cider around. Oh, the best cider and donuts, right? Because they got cider donuts too. Yeah, the last time we were there, Ken, would you believe the cider press had broke down, and They didn't have any gallons or half gallons of cider. They did have some pints. They did have some pints. So Karen was there and she got a couple of pints. And this woman comes up. So since you don't have the gallons of cider, can I buy enough pints to equal a gallon, and you'll charge me the price of a gallon of cider? These people. And they said, "No, I'm sorry, we don't do that kind of pricing." Well, that's not fair. If I had a nickel, if I had a dollar, if I had $100 for every time that woman has probably said that in her life, it's not fair wherever she goes. Don't be online behind her at the drive-through. Don't be online behind her at the ShopRite. Oh no, nothing's fair in this woman's world. I bet you. I bet you. And never mind the fact that if she buys it all up, there's no more for the next person. Greedy, greedy, greedy. No, just buy a couple and let somebody else. They come from a long distance. They're trying to fix it. But right now, they're not able to, they weren't that day able to produce cider. The donuts, nothing to me. If I love a good plain crunchy donut, and I only know of really one place. Is Daddy's Donuts just selling re- retail again? I don't think they're open again. But Dunkin' Donuts, it was originally called the Dunkin' Donut. Imagine they canceled the donut, and the name of the donut was the Dunkin' Donut. Just a plain donut, but it's got a crunch to it, the old-fashioned plain. I like that. I like a crunchy donut. That's why Entenmann's donuts don't do much for me. The chocolate frosted minis are fine. All stuff I don't need to be eating. I don't need to be eating. I'm on Ozempic, for goodness sakes. I'm on the low dose. I'm going to kick it up to the higher dose this week. And, because the thing is with Ozempic, especially once you go to the second level of doses, you can't eat a plate of spaghetti all the way. You can't go to the Chinese buffet and pick out maybe 1.5 plates over at the Flaming Grill. Huh, Ken? Have you been to Flaming Grill? I think I want to put a cot in there and just eat there every day. You get tired of it eventually, but Flaming Grill in Newburgh, get my salmon, get my whitefish, and get my spinach and my broccoli and my green beans. And then I go for the stuff I also want. The sesame chicken, which is just General Chow's, but with they sprinkle seeds on it. That's all it is, but I can't. Andy thinks there's a total difference. And it's much better on my stomach for the sesame chicken. It's General Chow's, and they sprinkle sesame on it. That's all it is. I can't convince him. Little bit of sweet and sour chicken and those cheese puffs, those hot cheese puffs. I try to stay away from the garlic bread. That just fills you up, Little sushi, yeah. And of course, some shrimp. Oh, the shrimp with the cocktail sauce. I'm making myself very hungry, Elaine Peterson. I don't go there just for the halibut. I don't just go there just for the hell of it. Elaine Peterson. They don't have halibut that I know of, but maybe on some special days they do. They have whitefish, they have salmon, and they have crab. Evening time, they break out all that hard shell fish, and the price goes up because people want that, lobster a little bit, and lobster legs. I'd rather have a lobster roll, with the seafood type version, salad type version of lobster. I don't want to be sitting there with a plate full of hard shells and trying to crack them open and stuff. No, it's not me. Pepper steak is so good. I don't know if I've seen that at Flaming Grill, but I may be missing it. Um, we have gone to a number of places. We started going to Empire, which is a place we just never went to, which is, across the street from ShopRite. The place there, no. Greasy. During COVID, they had these draconian rules, and I don't like their food there at, what do you call it? Now, Peking House, great vegetable dumplings. I always get extra sauce and pretty good, pretty good. China Star, way out on 211, pretty good. Great crab rangoon. I mean, I got, there's a new place, Ken. Ken and I are familiar with these places. The place right down near Park Circle, the Chinese restaurant. It's changed hands like 5 times. Way back in the day when I was a kid, it was the House of Yen. They tore that building down, pretty sure. There's 2 restaurants, and one of them is this, new Chinese. They specialize in something. We ate there once, and it was very good, but I got crab rangoon, and there was no crab in it. It didn't taste like crab at all. Crab rangoon at China Star is good, but if you like the chicken with garlic sauce, like I do, if you like the chicken with garlic sauce, you got to go to Goshen because nobody seems. I haven't tried it at Empire yet. I'm going to try it. Nobody seems to know how to make garlic sauce. They think it's just brown sauce and make it hot. No, it's supposed to taste garlicky. And Goshen Chinese Kitchen's got that down. They've got that down. It's one of the best Chinese, and their pork fried rice is the best in Orange County. I know for most of you this means nothing. They cook it fresh on the grill in the back. Oh, you go for it there. I see. I see. I've never ordered anything from there. There's so much to choose. So I have never done that. It's like when I used to go to Golden Corral before they closed in Middletown. I never, very rarely asked for a steak or anything like that. If it was nighttime, there was enough with the pot roast and the so many dishes that they had there. I never really ordered too much. Well, look who's here. Gloria Drummond. You don't like the sushi? Not even the California roll, which has got the avocado in it? You don't have to have, a raw fish. There's other things. Gloria Drummond has her own channel. She no longer puts the exact title there or all of it. But look up Gloria Drummond. Just tell them your channel name. And here is Gloria Drummond. Gloria Drummond. She does live. She does pre-recorded. And so find her on YouTube, subscribe, like, and share. Yeah. Please do the same here. Share, not the live shows because they're too long, but, the pre-recorded shows and what have you. And please, yeah, it's important. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Today is also the anniversary of the passing of Carol Spinney, the Big Bird. Okay, so that was 1 year. Was it 1 year or was it longer than that, Neo? Neo was a puppeteer, so he would definitely know that. Yeah, I remember going to Sesame Street, the amusement park in New Jersey with my kids, probably in the 90s. In the 90s, found myself at the top of a water slide, letting the kids go by me as I looked down and said, "What am I doing on this?" But I finally found the nerve to go down. And the guy was looking at me as I made a big splash, and I said, "I'm getting too old for this." And that was in the 90s. That was in the 90s. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If I don't have your picture and you'd like to show me when you come on, send me a picture. Send me a picture in the email. Eventually, I'll get it to Google Photos, and that's the best way to do it. But any correspondence, pictures, information, tips. I don't mean tips as in money. I mean tips as in the Bob Joyce story or something else that you think is exciting and relevant that others would enjoy. Send me a picture, and then when you come on, we'll show it. We'll show it. All right, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Um, and I'll send it to Google Photos, and that'll be the best way. So I didn't eat a lot of sushi for years either, but I like a little bit of it, and I like the sauce that tastes like a high-tech teriyaki sauce, not the usual, sauce, soy sauce, and a little bit of wasabi, just a little bit, set your mouth on fire, but you got to try it. Ooh, it'll wake you up. It'll wake you up. It'll put a zip in your step. The zip in your step. Elaine Peterson, he knows I just took my Ozempic shot. I didn't know you were on Ozempic, so I definitely didn't know that. Excuse me. So much wires and stuff here. Okay, put the mic back up. You're on Ozempic? Are you on the slowest dose, the medium dose, or the highest dose? I can't believe it. You, Elaine Peterson? Unbelievable. It's a joke, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Elaine, if Elaine gets into a car crash, she's just when the medics come up to her, when the ambulance pulls up, she'll say, I'm believing Jesus for my healing. I'm not going with you in the ambulance. What I'm trying to say is Elaine's not big on medications and things like that, or colonoscopies. And I just had a colonoscopy, and I'm now waiting for the pathology results. I know you all want me to talk about my colon, so, there were 2 small polyps, and there was one a little bigger. Haven't had that for the last few colonoscopies. Dr. Plumer, wonderful Dr. Ken. He's the only Horizon doctor I use. His office is out there on Hatfield Lane, 75 Hatfield Lane, I think now. And he's the best. And he usually does his colonoscopies at his private surgical place, which is right next to the Orange County Fair Speedway, in the front of the building where Middletown Medical uses most of the remaining space for their doctors. But I have cardiomyopathy. I have a defibrillator in my chest. And so when you have a defibrillator, they insist you go to the hospital. I don't know if you were on recently, Ken, but I wanted to get it done this year before a new deductible kicks in. So they said, well, he only goes twice a month to the hospital to do colonoscopies. He's got the day after Thanksgiving. Depends how bad you want it. And Karen and I looked at each other and said, well, we can have Thanksgiving on Saturday, we can do that. She was good with that. She was going to cook a turkey leg for Andy on Thanksgiving or something. And so I had to prep on Thanksgiving and had the test Friday morning at Garnet. And it was great to see Dr. Plumer again. I'm not sure why Jack is talking about food either. Well, it's not exactly a new topic to the program. People tend to have their own favorites and recipes and what have you. Let's see here. Our family restaurant was House of Yunnan. Yunnan for 33 years. We had the House of Yen. You had the House of Yunnan for like 33 years. My kids ate all the strange stuff. I stick to sweet and sour chicken, crab rangoon, and hot and sour soup. Well, you got to come to Goshen Chinese Kitchen for the best hot and sour soup you've ever had. So come on, Rita. Goshen, New York. It's historic. They've shot movies there, for goodness sakes, especially for the Hallmark Channel. Yeah, I remember that. This goes back a few years. We It's very early September, and we go to Goshen because we heard things were going on. And my goodness, it was Christmas in September in Goshen, New York. Oh my, they spent some time doing this, trying to make it look like Christmas. Not the snow until they were not the fake snow until they were ready to shoot, but everything else looked like Christmas in downtown Goshen just after Labor Day. And I never got to see that movie on the Hallmark Channel. I never got to see it. Hmm. Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. How are you? Jack, you just made me eat cereal because I was hungry. I have now made myself starving. I didn't have any dinner. I haven't had anything since those two slices of pizza from Brother Bruno's. There's two left. One is for Karen. She always says eat both. I say no. One's for you, honey. One's for you. Don't tempt me. Um, Egg drop soup, I like it. I like it. Some people say it's like hot snot, but hey, if it's made right, it's pretty tasty. It's pretty tasty. I'm not a wonton soup kind of guy. Anybody like the wonton soup? You love the Hallmark movies. Oh, yes. So do the boys next door, Gloria. You might want to preach to them sometime. uh, I mean, my friend Polka Sean says that, he does a countdown to hell, as he calls it, when the Hallmark Channel is going to start playing all Hallmark movies as they are now and will until early January, right? And he calls it the countdown to hell in his house because his wife, our good friend Norma, will be watching those Hallmark movies, and the boys next door just love them, and they keep their Christmas stuff up too. Well into probably February. Probably February. Jack, says Jackie Organ. You start off like Jody Smith. Is Jody here? She's probably working. Jack, Matt Joyce and his band, The Revolution, were going to perform Elvis tribute concert, right? And it was Elvis and tamale platters in the afternoon when the new church opened. Entry was $30. I never got a price. That's cheap. I don't think it ever happened. No, I have no indication that it did. They just stopped talking about it all of a sudden. They just stopped talking about it. Um, and of course, it was on Matt's personal page. So what happened? We want the Elvis and tamales. And it doesn't have to be on a Sunday. It could be on a Saturday. People are coming there anyway, and staying overnight. So I think it would work on a Saturday if you don't want it connected to the Lord's Day. I can kind of understand that. One thing many Christians, Gloria knows this, many Christians don't do much at all is observe the Sabbath and keep the day holy. Keep the day holy. I know there are some Christians that won't go to a restaurant. They won't do anything on Sunday other than go to church and go home and have family time. Um, like that. But Elvis and Tamales sounds good. Matt Joyce is certified by the Elvis Presley estate as an Elvis impersonator. He's not the only one, though. Um, and I would love to see that. I would love to see Matt Joyce perform. And I have nothing against tamales. I had some in 2024 for the first time in my life. I never knew they came in a corn husk. I never knew. It was quite tasty. It was quite tasty. What do you think, Neo? Have you had tamales? So yeah, I've been thinking about the same thing, and I've asked the question on the air, and no one ever says anything. No one ever has emailed me anything about what happened there. Somewhere there's people that know certain things. Some of my sources, go a little quiet on me sometimes. Jack, I often think would Priscilla be spouting off all this stuff? Oh, we have a Priscilla hater if Elvis was alive or is alive. That's right. I should have said it the way you wrote it. I thought I was covering for you, but no, if Elvis is alive. Yeah. She would. She gonna make some money. She's gonna put something in that book. What do you want her to put in that book? A recipe for gingerbread? Yeah, yeah, I think she would. And watch out for the fake AI stuff that's out there. Just yesterday, I saw this big post. Um, Priscilla Presley slips and says that Bob Joyce is Elvis Presley. Her ex-husband is still alive. And there's a bunch of these people. They're just trying to get hits. I don't know how it works on Facebook, how you get paid and what have you. Someone explained that to me in an email at jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Jackthefairguy@gmail.com. I don't know how it works on Facebook because I'm not a paid creator for Facebook. I'm a paid creator for Google, YouTube, and I should expand. I should expand to X or something like that. But you know, they're looking to get views, and they put up some outrageous stuff. They've put up Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday since June. You know, it's happening this month. Has it happened already? I don't know. Tomorrow, happy birthday, happy 68th birthday to Donny Osmond, who's going to do his one last ride tour. I think he's hanging it up after 2026. Doesn't mean it'll last, doesn't mean he won't do other stuff. But in terms of regular work, I don't think he's going to have a Vegas residency after this year. After this year. 58 watching, please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Please hit the thanks button for any amount that you can. It's all appreciated. It works in the total for January, the third week in January, and I've got the three initials on my mind, IRS, because I pay taxes on these tips, whether it be the Cash App or the money I make from Google. That all goes into one pot. It mixes in with the views. I get paid per 1,000 views, and we're not getting big views these days. You know, I've talked about this oversaturation of the topic from other creators that just get on and mumble off the top of their head incoherently, and then sometimes do some pretty good work. I wouldn't take that away. But way too much, and it hurts everybody, including them, because the big views they used to get, they don't get, and it hurts everybody. And I indicated this early on, but you know, some people have a teachable spirit, and some people think they know it all. So that's what happens. I love wonton soup. It figures, Elaine. Isn't that a little bland? And the Hallmark movies. Yes. Could I get you some rice cakes to go with it, Elaine? Some delicious, tasty rice cakes? How about, oh yeah, what's the other thing? Cheez-Its. Never understood the Cheez-Its of, what's the word I'm looking for? Obsession with Cheez-Its. Although Ritz crackers, which would be my favorite, they say aren't that healthy for you. I can believe that. So I don't know. Let's do a few more pictures here. I think I have a few more. Oh yeah. Okay. They're over here. I have them. Things I got off of Google Photos today. I think this is Charlie Kirk in the last few minutes of his life right here. I think he's wearing the shirt. I think that's the one. Charlie Kirk was a minute or so away from meeting the King of Kings and Lord of Lords and hearing, "Well done, good and faithful servant." What a blessing. Erica Kirk, you've missed it. She was on Sean Hannity. They'll do the rerun at 1 o'clock in the morning, our time, whatever. But I heard her on the Sean Hannity radio show this afternoon, um, just after 4:30 our time, and she's so good. She's so focused in her comments. She has nothing ill to say about anybody. I just don't understand what's going on with Candace Owens. Two topics: Israel, and Tucker has picked up on that somewhat. Um, and that's for another day. I'm not going to get into that part, but she's been talking about Turning Point, and she's become very successful with her style. This is one of the things I think that can happen to somebody, is that you have to continue to be provocative. You can't say, well, I've covered that. Now let's talk about something happy. Well, your views will go. She's had views in the millions and has over 5 million subscribers. Um, she is the number one podcaster in the world right now, I believe. But Joe Rogan maintains the status of being number one in the United States. In the United States, Joe is very, very popular in the United States. So let's just hear that audio now. The thumbnail picture is Candace looking, all serious, and a big picture of Erica Kirk, who I think's been nothing more than gracious. I mentioned before that there was a short video, and Candace, who I used to love, was a big fan, so I'm very disappointed in her. She shows the picture of her hugging the Vice President of the United States, and held a hug for a while. This is a woman that's completely traumatized. And then a picture of her hugging Jesse Waters, and it comes back and she has this look on her face. It's not that I know, but I know. Now, what was she inferring there? What was she inferring there? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't think there's anything Christian about that. When I hear Candace, who I used to love watching on Tucker Carlson when she would come on for like 3 minutes when he was on Fox. And I always thought she made some brilliant points. She wasn't a Catholic then. She is now. Her husband got her to convert, influenced her. Her husband seems like a fine man, warm individual. She interviewed him. She's got a show where she interviews him after 5-6 years of asking him to do it. It's kind of like me and Karen, and she's got the cross behind her and everything, but I never feel like I'm hearing these days from someone who loves Jesus, just someone that's gonna, in a very provocative, snotty tone, say what she thinks about Turning Point and the way it's being run, and that, inferring that Erica Kirk is not the one to run it, by making it clear in this video, and you'll hear that, it's not that I want to take over, and she's probably sincere about that, because she's too busy with her own work, So let's listen to this short thing. I hope I've got it queued up.
I have a 0% interest in Charlie's empire. I'm not motivated by the idea of carrying on his torch.
Charlie, I promise, I will never let your legacy die, baby.
Not for a single moment did I think any person could carry on his torch.
He handpicked all of the people that not only run the organization, but that were within our orbit, our closest orbit, the people that he loved and he trusted so much, and that he knew without a shadow of a doubt, if something happened to him, they would take on the mission that he had instilled in them.
If you thought you could, you clearly did not know Charlie Kirk. Charlie was, in fact, an anomaly. And I don't know that I will live to see another person like him.
To be able to have that chosen family and that village that he helped literally handpick, I could not do a fraction.
Yes, obviously, we you as the CEO, but the team that you have around you.
The best part of all of this for me is, unlike those ill-begotten heirs on the show, I have a 0% interest in Charlie's life. I have
I cannot believe this. She literally said in what we just heard that, well, apparently Erica Kirk didn't know Charlie Kirk, her husband. You should have heard her on Sean Hannity this afternoon. She never brought up Candace, doesn't talk about it. I hope she continues not to. I hope not. The idea that anyone can demand a turning point answers my questions. BS. BS. So she says very clearly the kind of relationship that they had and the closeness. And there's been so many things that have been out there, like she had a hand in her husband's assassination, and she's just an opportunist and what have you. And that she's really a horrible person, Erica Kirk. I wouldn't want to be the person doing that kind of content. I wouldn't want to be the person doing that kind of content. If something tangible comes up, fine. I realize there's questions about the shooter and that those bullets didn't come from the gun they found and what have you. And there's other things that are questionable, and it's fine to ask those questions. But I don't think Charlie would want to see Erica Kirk maligned. I don't think he would want that at all. I think they had a good marriage, probably not a perfect marriage, but they had a good marriage. And for her to be put on trial like this as she continues to grieve, she's trying to fulfill Charlie's vision. Somebody's got to do it. And give her a chance. Give her a chance. See if she can do it. Christians, this is not the light of the Holy Spirit coming through words like this. It's not the guidance. It's not what Jesus would do. It's not what Jesus would do. So that's all I have to say about that. Disappointed in what I'm hearing from Candace on a couple of topics. But it is also true, once you get views in the millions, more than Tucker, you have found a style that works. And if you don't maintain that with one provocative topic after another, like she became obsessed with Macron and his wife, who she says is a man, like we've heard this. Obviously, we've heard this about Barack and Michelle forever, that she's a man. I don't know whether she is or she isn't. You could find some pictures and stuff that might indicate that that's true, but whatever. In this case, I don't understand this relentless pursuit of condemning Turning Point and maligning Erica Kirk, the widow. Don't get it. Can you imagine, says Rita, Erica Kirk hearing that about Candace saying that she had a hand in killing her husband? It's really horrible. And, there was a time when they were buddy-buddy, I believe. I believe they were buddy-buddy because in the early part of Turning Point, Candace was involved. She doesn't have the time now, not just to continue the podcast is a full-time thing. She has a small staff. She does it from her basement, and she has built the #1 podcast. But you don't do that by changing your style one day and being, what I would say more Christ-like and soft-spoken and smiling more and doing happy stuff, the views will go way down. So you're caught in a trap. She can't get out. She can't get out. Here's Jody. How are you, Jody? First of all, let me thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button for $1.99. The great encourager, first person to do it tonight, and I appreciate that so much. Jack, I've said to people before, I think something compromising happened to Candace. If you know what I mean, I don't know what you mean. Let's see if you explain further. It's not in a good way because she's making good people look bad. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't come into any final judgments on Candace Owens, but um, you see this happen with other podcasters, and of course, the second thing involves Israel. It involves Israel and making Benjamin Netanyahu out to be like Hitler in some cases, some of these people. I saw Benjamin Netanyahu just yesterday explaining what these charges are against him. And basically, it involves, they've chipped away at everything that the prosecution brought out. And it's down to now that he took free cigars from a friend at one time. And his son, 29 years ago, was given a Bugs Bunny. Given a Bugs Bunny. When did we make this stuff illegal that a friend can't give you cigars? Oh, well, they have his defense because he's got good lawyers, of course. They have been able to debunk all the charges against Benjamin Netanyahu, except he does remember that 29 years ago, and he had the Bugs Bunny that he showed to camera, and he does remember that he received cigars from a friend. He says the reason he went to the president of the company and asked of the country and asked for a pardon is because this could go on the way it works in Israel. This could go on like it has already for years and years and years, and he wants to put it behind him. So he asked for a pardon, and I always thought that although Benjamin Netanyahu should have known what was happening through intelligence sources and should have had better protection, whether he knew about it or not, at the border and certainly at major events like that rock concert where teens were either kidnapped or slaughtered. There should have been better protection there. The U.S. should have known it too. It happened. It happened in an area that we have under surveillance all the time. We missed it. We missed it through satellite and what have you, GPS, etc. So, yeah. What happened on October 7th, 2023 in Israel is horrific, and it justified a response. Did everything Benjamin Netanyahu do, was it justifiable? Could he have been less heavy-handed? I say this all the time, I know, but there's new people. Yeah, especially once you have boots on the ground. It's really hard, though, because Hamas is so diabolical. They're just so diabolical, and it's hard to work around them. But the idea that you want to eliminate Hamas so you don't have a reoccurrence of this as they take time to build up their forces and stuff is reasonable, Benjamin Netanyahu's not the Antichrist. All leaders make mistakes, including President Trump. All leaders do. But the way it's spun on the internet, the way it's spun on these cable news shows, the idea that we should not help Israel, that you can, that it's not only is it America first, it's America only. That's not the way we've ever been. We will step up for our NATO allies. Instead, we threw millions to the Ukraine and wasted did I say millions? So what was it? How many billions to the Ukraine? For what? For what? And now it seems, people expect Trump to be a miracle worker, but there is such animosity between Zelensky, both Zelensky and certainly Putin say they're not going to settle for anything less but what they want. What they want. You got liberal progressives out there saying, well, Putin needs to pay reparations and rebuild the country for them and all this. You're talking fantasy talk. It's never going to happen. If you tried to rebuild, he'd do it again. He seems like he's going to live forever, and if not him, someone else like him. So you got to live in the real world. Trump was trying to work out something where they would take a piece of it, but Zelensky's not having that. So this is the conflict that won't end until Kyiv is completely destroyed. And you got to worry that in that process, something goes into Poland that could kill a bunch of people. They've already had something like that happen where missiles missed the target and ended up in Poland. So, I mean, one push of the button and Putin could destroy the world. We would not be able to stop him. So keep that in mind. You can't send Charles Bronson in or Arnold Schwarzenegger, to set Putin right. You just can't do that. And even if someone were to kill him, there'd be another one stepping up. Perhaps, maybe not. So many needless lives, and none of it would have happened if Trump won a second term. He saw Biden, a cognitive mess who was destroying his own borders in America, letting millions of people walk in, including rapists and killers. And he said, well, this is the time. This is the time. It's funny how one insect, and I'm not talking about Putin right now, it's funny how one insect is, as Bernie Taupin wrote for Elton John over John Lennon, and I'll talk about him next. It's funny how one insect can damage so much grain. God deliver us from Joe Biden and people like him, Kamala and all the progressives. We don't want that for America. I won't do 3 minutes of politics yet, but we'll do it at the end. Well, the end is the reading of God's word, the most important thing. Maybe you should do shirts with a cartoon version of you, Jack. I've thought about it, Neo, but I don't think you're more popular than you actually are, but I did think about that. I haven't ruled it out, but, I don't know, Sometimes it's like, because you're known basically for one topic and people like the live shows. And I'm so glad that you do. That's kind of like instead of being a one-hit wonder, I'm a two-hit wonder. But you can't keep it going forever, But I have thought of that. I have Cash App, says Gloria, but not set up yet. No pressure here. The virtual tip jar, for those who have Cash App, it's a blessing for me when you can hit it, or the thanks button, which is a credit card for any amount. It's a tip like you're at your favorite diner and the waitress is, giving you your check. And as I have said before, we have, and Ken Winters knows about that if he's still here. He knows very well. I've met him at the Colonial Diner. There's Carmen, the waitress, and my average tip to Carmen, I don't go as much as I used to. Budget is smaller and what have you, and new owners' food, not as good, but some of it's pretty good. Some of it's very good. So I still go there, but not as much. And my usual tip is $15 when I see Carmen. $15. I'm not a $3 or $4 person, and I don't do that at the Chinese buffets. Oh well, they don't do much. They just take away your plates and give you a refill of your drink. They don't do much. Yeah, but they have a miserable life. They work in these places 12 hours a day, 5, 6 days a week, and they need some spending cash. I don't think he's paying them very much. They make millions of dollars at Flaming Grill, millions of dollars. They have like 250 seats, 2 party rooms. They make a lot of money, but they have a lot of overhead. Just the food is well over $1 million a year, that they have to spend. So I don't think they have a very wonderful life, and they're working a lot of hours. Probably, I think a bus picks them up at the end of the night, and they probably all go back to the same building. So, I don't tip them $2 or $3 or $5. More than that, because they're providing friendly service, and this is all they have. This is all they have. So there you go. Most of my videos are pre-recorded. Okay, yeah, I just happened to see you live that one time at 4:27 in the morning. I saw the replay of it, though. Well, I'd need to have, it would need to be viable, though, Neo. You don't get T-shirts made and then it depends. Again, it's you gotta look at who is my audience? Would they wear one? That kind of thing. Jack, I think we need to pray for JD Vance, his safety, because don't think what happened to Charlie and Trump is going to be tried again. It's all, yeah, everybody. These days, if you're a public figure, a conservative public figure, you're at risk. They have the best security around Trump now and the vice president, but the old story is if someone's willing to die for the cause, they may be able to get you. They may be able to get you. And so they definitely pray for them. And yeah, I think I was surprised you were able to go live, Gloria, because I think back when unless I'm totally wrong about this, I had to get to 1,000 subscribers before I could go live. I think they sent me a note saying you can go live now. And because I hadn't done it for many years. I did the Bob Joyce topic and never made 10 cents from 2018 to past 2022. So I did it because I love the topic and I love the fact that people were interested in it. But no, I never made a cent, and the channel as of this month or next month technically is 10 years old, And the Bob Joyce topic is 7 years old. 7 years old. So there you go. Going into its 8th year. I never thought that would happen. But this is the topic that keeps on giving, and it's growing now with Bob having professional management and what have you, and the new barn church, which holds a few more people. And there's still plans, as far as I know, to build a much bigger sanctuary right next to the barn there, thousands of seats. But in order for that to happen, it seems to me like he's got to have more exposure. Does he have to say something? I think so. And but you can't do that when you don't have the seating right now. It's a catch-22. All right, so a few more pictures in my hand here. Karen and I at the mayor's place. I think I've shown that one before. At the mayor's place, Old Erie, downtown. Near where we have the summer concerts. Who's my favorite actor from Dark Shadows, the original series from 1966 through 1971? I love Jonathan Frid. I love John Carlin, who played Willie Loomis, tremendously. But my all-time favorite, love David Hennessy, young David Hennessy, who's now my age of 69 years old and has 2 restaurants in Panama and other businesses. It has to be Thayer David. Thayer David. He was on Rocky. The first Rocky there, Neo. He played the money man, Thayer David. Then he was in a number of things. His career was after Dark Shadows was fine. He was getting offer after offer, but he never took care of himself. I think he smoked, and he definitely overate. And I don't know about the drinking, but he died of a heart attack in 1977. And that is a shame. He was about to remarry his wife. And he played so many wonderful characters on Dark Shadows, starting with Matthew the caretaker. He replaced an actor who was doing that and brought it to new heights. And then Ben Stokes, and then Elliot Stokes. And then right now we're in the part, we're watching for the 4th time, where he is Count Petofi. He'll play Timothy Stokes before things are over. And just one of my favorite actors of all time. Thayer David, real name David Thayer, but he couldn't be David Thayer because there was already a David Thayer, and you can't have 2 in the actors union. That's why we have Michael J. Fox, because Michael Fox already existed. I think I saw something he did, Michael Fox, back in the 70s. So he had to become Michael J. Fox. And here's the, maybe you know them, Gloria. I played their music when I was in Contemporary Christian Music Radio for 11 years, Sound of Life Network. The Nelons. Everyone but the blonde, younger woman died in a plane crash. They were on their way to do a cruise, a ministry cruise. And their pilot was very experienced and what have you, but they had problems with the automatic pilot, and he became disoriented and what have you, didn't know what was going on, and they crashed. They did not burn. The bodies were all found to be, intact, basically. Well, at least they didn't burn. And so that was tragic. The blonde woman, whose name I wish I could call right now, she was married and pregnant at the time, very pregnant. So it's a good thing that she wasn't on that plane. She released the final Nelons album that had already been recorded, and records herself now and what have you. But the Nelons were special, and that was a terrible, terrible tragedy. And that's what they did. Southern gospel. Yeah, I played a lot of Southern gospel. I played other stuff on the Sound of Life Network. I even was host for a while of the Black Gospel Hour. There was nobody else to do it, and it was on my shift on Saturday afternoon. So I went on the Trinity Broadcasting Network local TV show, and the host, Pastor Ken Stevenson, got a real kick about pointing out that I was the host of the Black Gospel Show. He came with a shift. Yeah. So what about Israel? Oh, you're talking to Gloria, so good. I'll let her have that. So if I don't know what you're talking about, I won't try to figure it out on the air. I feel like I'm in a movie, says Elaine Pearson. And what movie would you compare it to, Elaine? What movie would you compare it to? Of course, Elaine is a subscriber. She's one of our loyal people here. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you. Paul and Jan Crouch. Oh, yeah. I watched a lot of them in the 80s and 90s. I mean, I watched it every night. Praise the Lord program with Paul and Jan. And that's where I saw all of those preachers of that time. My favorite was E.V. Hill, Baptist preacher. We went to a TBN rally at Faith Assembly of God in Poughkeepsie. This is my first wife, the mother of my children. She was pregnant with my son, Corey. And the first time she heard him, the first time she felt him move in her stomach was when E.V. Hill was preaching. He'd get anybody's attention, you know. Great preacher, pastor of a Baptist church in downtown Los Angeles. He was really, really good. E.V. Hill. I've told some of his great lines before. Like in terms of Easter Sunday, he didn't believe in having no sunrise service. E.V. Hill, he said, he is risen. He's not there. He's not there. So if he's not there, ain't no reason for me to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, he was a gem. He was a gem. I don't know anything about the Matrix. Did you really watch that movie, Elaine? Or did you just watch it because you favor Keanu Reeves, huh? Were you just focused on Keanu? I never understood the Matrix. It's not my kind of movie. I don't like the Tom Cruise action movies. Really, I'm impressed that he does these things. I hope he doesn't die doing his own stunts someday. I think he's still doing them. But if you want to go for Keanu Reeves movies, I would like the one where he was Diane Keaton, right? He had this tremendous, was it Michelle Pfeiffer or Diane Keaton? The late Diane Keaton. I always confuse those two. It was definitely Diane Keaton. He plays a doctor, and he's much younger than Miss Keaton was. And he's falling in love with her, but she's got her eye on Jack Nicholson. She's got her eye on Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson beats out Keanu Reeves in that movie. I got The Matrix, though it was good. Though he was good in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, says Neil. Well, I'm glad that's you and not Elaine saying that. See, you and I would not like the same kind of movies. We might meet in a certain kind of movie, but you and I would not, like I don't think you've probably seen Remains of the Day with Anthony Hopkins, right? I don't know. Me either now. See, if we were in the Nazarene church, we wouldn't be watching movies at all. We wouldn't watch movies, right? You think any Nazarenes really watch movies? So I don't know. There's 52 watching right now. Please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and if you can, please hit the thanks button like Jody Smith did for $1.99. No amount is too big or too small. And let's see here. What else do I have in my tabs? Let me check email real quick. See a message from Kathy Hochul. Oh boy, that's always fun. And again, thank you, Lucia, for hitting the Cash App for $10, along with Elaine and Jupiter's Realm. We need more people. That'll help us out to make our goal for January. I never finished the story. I was thinking about the IRS because before you know it, it'll be February and I'll be sitting there with my tax lady and she's got all my information on what Cash App brought in and what YouTube brought in. And keep in mind, I'm a small fish. So, and then I'll find out what tax I have to pay back. Now, it was okay last year. This year, all things considered, I'm going to have to pay some tax. So I'm thinking about that, Taxman, be lucky he don't take it all, wrote George Harrison. George Harrison. Yeah. So let's talk John Lennon for a little bit. It was 45 years ago tonight that he was killed by, I always confuse these names too, John Hinckley, or was it Mark David Chapman? I confuse those two names, the Reagan attempt and the death of John Lennon. Mark David Chapman, right? Killed John Lennon. I was working security out in the town of Waukee with a guy, another guard at a lead plant, a battery plant. We stayed outside in a guard shack and checked people in and out. The employees were supposed to show us their badges and what have you. And this guy hated John Lennon. And he would open up the window to the guard shack. This was my night. And he would say to the employees coming to work, because, see, when you work at a lead plant, you have to be tested all the time to see what your lead level is in your body. And I think they wore some kind of thing that would let them know if they were in a high lead area. And we had to wear it when we went into the plant ourselves. I always said people that didn't think hell existed have never been inside RSR. So he would open up the window, and I must have heard this a dozen times or so, and he'd say, "Hey, did you hear? John Lennon has high lead." I really wanted to put his head through the glass, but I didn't. And not sure I would have been able to be honest with you. You never know, you know. But that was my night. I was listening to WABC. It was still music radio. And Howard Hoffman, who I knew personally, was the jock who had been here at the Wall Castle, just like I had been after him a few years later, working at that radio station. And he was, playing mostly Beatles and Lennon solo stuff and what have you. And the reaction in New York City and the reaction around the world was incredible. So many people loved John Lennon. And I remember Chuck Scarborough, a legend who is now retired. But he was a legendary anchor for decades and decades in New York. And he was saying, well, as devastating as this is, eventually we'll move on to something else. But this is a major impact for people around the world. And I realize not everybody was a John Lennon fan, and people will say that. I certainly wasn't a fan of Imagine, that song that people play and think they're singing something great. No, that's a No Hope song. And John Lennon didn't necessarily believe that, because he looked into Christianity, and it was very important for him to be on a search. And who knows what he was at the end. I know he made that famous statement in the Beatles that what he said was the Beatles at that point in time were more popular than Jesus Christ. What he meant is that they were so popular, he was saying that at that particular point in time, more people were interested in the Beatles than were in reading the Bible. He says, I wasn't comparing us to Jesus. I wasn't saying we were as good or better than Jesus. It was just an off-the-cuff statement I made that in retrospect, I think he regretted. So he checked into gurus and everything else. He does have a song called God is a Concept by Which We Measure Pain. And he goes to a whole list of disavowing just about every religion and says that basically what he believes is Yoko and me. That's reality. Well, Yoko can't give you life after this life. Only Jesus Christ can. Amen, Gloria? Amen? Yeah, so yeah, he did say that. I don't, obviously, musically, the man was a genius who wrote some incredible pop songs and had some wonderful material as a solo artist. And it was a joy to play him on the radio and what have you. Always an interesting interview, but then Yoko got too involved with it. And my favorite thing about Yoko is the thing that was posted on Facebook Yoko Ono is, I don't know, 83 today, and her voice is as good as it ever was. Not an untrue statement. So I just loved him. I loved him. I disagreed with him on occasion, but he was someone who I certainly enjoyed, along with Paul and along with Ringo, and along with, of course, George Harrison. So there you go. Coming up almost on 2 hours. Almost on 2 hours. Yeah, I did hear about the earthquake, 7.5 off Japan. I did, but what I didn't hear, Jackie, is much coverage on it, because all we talk about, uh, especially on Fox, is politics. It's all we talk about. CNN, in that case, with their international reporters, can do a better job, but they've got an agenda to, you know, push the woke progressive agenda, which has got their ratings in the toilet, but they keep at it. Whoever owns CNN, the Communist News Network, I call it, uh, they don't seem to want to right the ship. They don't want to right the ship, so their ratings are abysmal. They're abysmal. But when there's a war and they're great field reporters. They're the best. They're the best, although there's some good ones on Fox. A friend of mine, says Ken, was an officer who guarded Chapman. He would walk past his cell and sing Lennon songs, and it would send him into a rage. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, just... They say if it was possible for John to drive in that night, that he could have driven in. If he had done that, he would not have been killed that night. The guy was that close to going back home. His budget was spent. He was going to go back home if he didn't get him that night. So terrible, terrible, terrible. What can we say? I'm glad to hear you love the Beatles, Gloria. I think that, we all enjoy things. And it doesn't mean that we don't love Jesus. Am I as focused on Jesus as I should be? Of course not. I'm like the 99% or the 98% or the 95%. So I pray, what can I do today that will be an example of living my faith? And if you're willing to be attentive to the still small voice of the Holy Spirit, you'll hear it. And so that's why I struggle sometimes with this channel. When I see views going down, when I see response going down, I think, well, I don't know, because I want to know that I don't want to be one of the big guys. There are people, that don't have to worry. They're going to meet their bills. They're going to have enough left to go on a decent vacation and what have you. And they make thousands of dollars just off of YouTube alone every month. I don't. And what I used to make, I don't make anymore, because of oversaturation of other programmers and things like that. And the topic also, I don't want to hammer Pastor Bob Joyce. I want to keep it positive. And now, when something major happens, That's my job as a chronological storyteller, to cover it. But so I go up and down. Should I cut down to one live show a week? Am I oversaturating in live shows? And that's, making it so, people are getting sick of me. I have to think of all these things. I have to think of, Would it be better time spent with Karen, more time spent with Karen? Uh, should I take a break for a month or so and not do any live shows unless there's something major that happens in the story? I think of all these things. And uh, well, it's nice to say, Neil, but I'm saying, you notice when things change. If you're already a small fish and there's a serious dive, then you have to say, well, I'm not expecting. I imagine Candace Owens is making far over 100 grand a year. I would say far over 100 grand, which is still nothing like what Tucker makes, and he doesn't have as big of a response. But I'm not going to cover stuff I don't believe in. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try to trick people by repackaging something I've done before. Um, with that said, there's new people, and you have to sometimes update and what have you, and tell the backstory. So there is that. But I'm just saying that it's something that you have to think of. My budget needs really, since my retirement suddenly became smaller than it was supposed to be, is really small. It's really small. So, you know, uh, I I have to think about, would it be better to be spending more time in my spiritual quest, more time in improving my relationship with Karen and what have you. It was kind of nice this weekend to have a break because maybe I've become too predictable. And okay, it's another Saturday night and what have you. And there are key people that I'm not seeing as much of, and that hurts too. And so you hope that new people join the fold and what have you. And sometimes you want to come on at different hours and see if you can get people that way. So, well, you actually prove it, Elaine. So thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I get it. I get it. I think you know what I'm saying, though. I think you know what I'm saying. And oversaturation is a real thing. And when other people oversaturate, it hurts every other programmer. And I didn't hear about Matt Savina's PET scan results. I don't think he ever talks about me. I heard a vague reference once, but I hope it was good. I hope it was good. Hope he had a all clear there. We prayed for him during the time he was going through his second bout with cancer. So he's a brother in Christ. He's a brother in Christ. Christina Wilburn, peace, love, and good night to everyone. Good night, Christina. If I've missed anybody, Sandra Fair, I would miss you and our little family here too. Keep on keeping on. Okay, but remember all that I said, not just some of what I said. You know what I mean? Because that's important too. That's important too. Um, I would love to have a little space so I didn't have to. I would love to go whole shows and not mention anything. I really would. Carolyn Mullins, how are you? She's speaking to Gloria. Talking about the relationship between Yoko and Julian. Yeah, Julian, there's no love lost there. That's for sure. That's for sure. Here's Katina Swatsworth. I missed you. There you are, Team SWAT. Nice to have you here. Pray for Timmy. He's still in a coma after his motorcycle accident. It's been many months now. Young man, such a shame. And I'm looking back in case I missed anybody. because sometimes that happens. We have a smaller list of regulars, and that doesn't help. That doesn't help. Right now we have 65 watching, so some new people have come on. I'd love to know your name and where you're watching us from. Where you're watching us from. I'm going past 2 hours now. I do long lives. We did 3 hours. I'm not going to topple that. Of course, I got dishes waiting for me. Got to wash my dishes, and I'm actually starving now. I have a little something, just a little something, little something, something, little something, something. And I have, believe me, cut back on my budget. Not going to Poco Weekend this year. I have, that's unbelievable, you know. So let me talk about our Christmas show. I went to the Jimmy Stir Christmas show. I sat in the cheap seats. Did get myself a hat, though. Here we are. A brand new Jimmy Stir hat. And I walked right up to Mrs. Stir, who was running the booth with fan club president Anita. And I said, I got to have one for my channel. And I wore it in the thumbnail to the latest video. So please, if you're just new, please subscribe, like, please do it right now. Hit the subscription button. It helps me. And the notification bell. What am I trying to find here? Yeah, that. See, we have 65 watching, but it says on the channel 30 watching. I never quite understood that. But anyway, Saturday afternoon, and I didn't plan to do this. I planned to do just a promo of this particular show you're watching right now. So you know we wouldn't be on that weekend, but we'd be on tonight, Monday, if you're watching us live. But hello, Replay Crowd. Replay Crowd, you are the biggest part of the audience, especially if you like what's in the title and you like the content. You're the biggest part of the audience. So I really need you to be part of the family too. Hit the thanks button for a few dollars if you can, and hit or the Cash App, my Cash App handle, Media Guy, lowercase letters, MEDIAGUY, the numbers 56. I was born in 56. Media Guy 56 for any amount, big or small. If it's a bigger tip, because this is just a tip jar, it's best that you use Cash App because I get more of it. But the thanks button is very appreciated as well. So there it is. 410 views, it says right now. Christmas concert. And I'm wearing this hat in the thumbnail from the theater, the Paramount Theater. And then I say live Monday, 12/8/25 at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is what we're doing right now. So there you go. So I did that, and I sat down in my seat, and I still was rolling, and I decided just to show you what amounted to almost all of the second part of the Jimmy Stir concert. I did the promo in intermission, and then I did the I sat down and I thought, well, I've got a good seat on the aisle here, up here in the balcony, and the second part of the show is going to start. And so I decided to go for it. Nobody was bothering me. And so it turned out pretty good. Now, what I need really is an iPhone because it tends to wash out the person who's in the bright lights. The person behind him, no. But the bright lights, those that are out front, it tends to get washed out. So I really need an iPhone. If anybody has an iPhone they're not using anymore and you want to donate that, I would be more than happy to take it. I guess I could go to my phone company and I could have them transfer my account over to that iPhone. So if you got an iPhone sitting in the drawer that's in good shape that I could use for the live broadcast, use in general, that would be a wonderful blessing. That would be a wonderful blessing. I know people put phones in drawers. They get a new iPhone, they put the other phone in the drawer. I know that happens all the time. So remember my email. Um, and I'm going to give it in just a second again, in case you do have that iPhone. But please watch that Christmas concert if you haven't already. I would love it to go above 1,000. Now, I'm not making 10 cents on that video. This is my gift to you. I'm just proud of it. I think there's some good stuff there. And if you like Christmas, and if you like the band The Coasters, this is the next generation Coasters, if we're going to be honest, but they sound exactly like the other guys. Maybe there's a relative in there, probably is, to be able to use the name. But they sing Poison Ivy, and they sing Yakety Yak, Don't Talk Back, and they sing Carolyn Mullen's favorite song, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. And we actually see they've got a big screen in the back, and we see poor Grandma hitting the snow. uh, and I was just watching it. I can't comment when I'm doing this. I just, I can't comment then. So I see Carolyn say, I don't like that song. I saw that, Carolyn Mullins. So please share the Christmas concert. It's got some really great stuff on there, including from Mr. Jimmy Sturr himself, Johnny Karras, and Frankie Yankovic. Not Frankie Yankovic, Frankie Urbanowitz, and the whole Jimmy Sturr Orchestra, 18-time Grammy-winning orchestra. And many of the guys have been in the band for 30, 40 years plus. They've been going since the late 60s, and I first saw Jimmy Sturr at the Orange County Fair in 1969. He plays the clarinet and sax, not as much as he used to, but the first time I saw him, I thought, wow, this guy really loves what he does. And missed a lot of years because I was either living in California, doing radio in Western New York or whatever. But anyway, for that video, please, if you can, you probably have trouble sharing it on Facebook. So what happened is that becomes the people who wrote Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer contacted YouTube, or however it's done through algorithms, and the Boughs of Christmas or whatever. And there was like 3 songs. It didn't copyright strike me. It just said that I can't monetize the video, that they would get any funds that come from the video, the people who wrote 3 of the songs in question. It won't be much. It won't be much. But so that's my gift to you, is that Christmas concert. So if you haven't watched it, I appreciate you giving it a try and see if you enjoy it. After the promo is part 2 of the Christmas concert at the Paramount Theater, which I went to. Oh my God, it's 11 degrees. I just saw that. No wonder I'm freezing in here. That's another thing. Not much heat comes through here. I don't have the space heater on right now. I will later. But it's a little tougher to come up here in the winter when it's 11 degrees. 11 degrees. So watch that video. And then there's The Secret Life of Elvis, What Was Left Out of the Church Letter. That's got 2,000 views. The video Bob Joyce teaching, we play an excerpt of Pastor Bob teaching, and the Memphis Mafia Kid, Danny Smith, meeting up with Teresa Panel. That's got 1,100 plus views. And if we go down a little bit further, see, it's been a while since I've had big hits, and so I don't get that per 1,000 views like I did. I've got a lot that are under 1,000, which means it's basically a freebie. Buddy McDaniel live at the Bob Joyce meet and greet. That's got 2,500 views. Will Elvis do his first concert in 48 years? That was prior to the Coleman concert. That's got 1,500 views. And I'm going down further. I know there's the one from Coleman I went right by it. I must have. I know that the Wild New Bob Joyce video has over 70,000 views. Over 70,000 views. Once in a while, we hit it just right, you know? We hit it just right. Like, did Bob Joyce preach Lisa Marie Presley's video? That's got like 147,000 views or something like that. So we do have that. But please check out the Christmas concert video. I'd like to see that get over 1,000 views, not because I'll make a dime on it, but because I'm proud of it. And I'd like Jimmy to see that that happened as well, you know. All right. So back to the live stream. Katina saying, good night, sweet dreams. I'm praying for everyone in the name of Jesus. Thank you for stopping by, Katina. Hi, Jack. My feelings about you being on twice a week are that you and Karen need to discuss her feelings, and if she feels disconnected or needs you around more, then change your time with us. Well, it has to be a good time or it won't be successful. But yeah, she understands that, you know, what I do is important and it helps everybody. It helps everybody, helps her too, you know. Sometimes she can't afford her copay at the doctor or her copay for a test. You know how Medicare, if she had Medicaid, everything would be rosy. Medicare Advantage plans are, there's copays for this and copays for that. They don't cover this, they don't cover that, talking about Aetna. And so sometimes I pay that for her, you know, so it's necessary. It's a necessary income. And there is flexibility. And look, I'm on Monday night instead of the weekend. I think we'll be on Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Rocky Mountain Red Wing joins us. See, people come on later too. And I like to give them time. Not say, oh, you're too late. Forget it, you know, because I try to do my best. I really try to do my best. So let me put my email in here again, because I know that my live broadcast, and I'd like to bring you so much more, some cool stuff happening, you know, in the Hudson Valley and beyond, if we travel a little bit. So if you got a new iPhone and you threw the other one in the drawer and you'd like to donate it to me so we could have better live broadcasts. Other than that, I don't care. I don't do that much with my phone. You know, I don't need all the bells and whistles. But those iPhones, I see the people that have them and I see they're not getting any kind of a washed out look. And that would be wonderful if you have a spare iPhone that you don't use anymore and it's in good working condition, just contact me, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. I've never asked for something like that before. I did make note when we needed what do we need? We needed a 4K camera. It was time. We'd used the camera. It's still working. It's over there as a backup. But we needed a 4K camera, you know? And so we got that. And people responded to that. And that was wonderful. So thank you. Yeah, you know about those Medicare Advantage plans, right? So I'm old enough to remember when the Yakety Yak song first came out. Okay. Oh, these guys were not around then, I'm pretty sure, or they were very young. I remember listening to it on the radio in my junior high school years. Those were the best rock and roll music years. Well, there was some great stuff. I came a little after that, so I'm very partial to 1964 um, and into the 70s. I love the 70s, but I love the 60s. I would hear the music that you loved later and love so much of it. I mean, you can't find a better song than You Belong to Me by the Duprees. What about those Platters songs? And the Platters were Jimmy's guests last year. No original members, but one guy who was mentored by an original member. Um, and when you talk about songs like Twilight Time, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and Only You, those are great songs. And of course, the crooners too, like Paul Anka and what have you. Paul's starting to look old finally, but Frankie Avalon has a podcast. You can find it right here on YouTube. He has a weekly podcast, Frankie Avalon, with another guy who asks him the questions and things like that. So check out Frankie Avalon. Yes, yes, yes. So 58 watching and 56 likes. I hope you subscribed. If you haven't already, hit the notification bell that lets you know when we come on, because sometimes we do pop on to pop off. Yes, yes, yes. And I don't see any other new people, but I know that there are people that are here that didn't say anything because we shot up to 65 pretty quick. Yeah, if I missed your comment, I apologize. So, yeah, we're I'm doing my best and hoping that we can keep this viable, because the threshold is very low. The threshold is very low, but it's just a small group, and I feel bad about that. That's why when there are new people, I feel good because I don't want the same people to feel obligated. I don't want the same people to feel obligated. In the past, people like Todd Bradshaw, Vinnie Maru, Elaine Peterson have done more than their share, Jupiter's Realm as well. Tammy, my love. So I'm grateful for that. So please hit the thanks button. You there in the replay audience. Very seldom does that happen. Very seldom does someone in the replay hit the thanks button or hit the Cash App. Very seldom. And yes, we know Elaine loves her heated mattress cover. She really, really does. So that's the last pitch I'll make about the iPhone thing. If you have an iPhone in the drawer, maybe you're in the replay crowd hearing this. My email is here in the thread, and I'll put it in the replay. I'll put it at the end of the replay description. jackthefairguy@gmail.com. If you have an iPhone you just don't use anymore, but it's in good working condition. I bet it'll have a much better camera, and that'll be good for the live broadcast. Can you tell I'm losing my voice? Can you tell, Neil? So there you go, Zoo Crew. Take care, everyone. Thank you for stopping. Zoo Crew. So pray for Timmy, who's in a coma. Motorcycle accident, motorcycle versus truck. You know who's going to win that battle. We hear it. We have a fire scanner. We don't have the police scanner. But all the time, there's these accidents, and the dispatcher says, pedestrian versus vehicle, pedestrian versus car, car versus motorcycle, that kind of thing. And it's horrible. It's horrible. So there's no strategy here to get rich, because Proverbs 22 says a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Rich and poor have this in common: the Lord is the maker of them all. A prudent man's A prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth and honor and life. In the paths of the wicked lie thorns and snares, but he who guards his soul stays far from them. Train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it. With the kind of parroting that we see too often in liberal millennials, progressive millennials, they do not train up the child. And this is why we have chaos going on in the world right now. Drive out the mocker, and out goes strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. He who loves a pure heart and whose speech is gracious will have the king for his friend. Part of Proverbs 22 in the NIV. There you go. All right. Still 54 watching right now. I don't see any new names. Don't see any new names. But yes, Sandra, it was great to watch the concert. They close with Yakety Yak in the video that I shot on Saturday afternoon at the Paramount Theater. No matter what I do, my hat looks crooked. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. Love the hat. I don't usually buy Jimmy stuff as much as I used to, but I had to have the hat. Three minutes of politics. Well, I'll make it shorter than that. Jasmine Crockett is running for the Senate in Texas. Dallas being the main part of the constituency, I just can't believe that she would not be slaughtered in an election. She is vile, vulgar, and certainly not qualified to be a United States Congresswoman. I don't know how we got to this level where someone who's just like a nasty kid, nasty foul-mouthed kid, is a U.S. Congresswoman. I don't know how we got there. There's plenty of wonderful black congressmen and senators, and has been over the years. But what we're seeing now is the Democrats are being pushed out by progressives who hate America. Omar, same thing. Where they are showing that many of the Somalians that are here have records and what have you. I'm not for any group of people being thrown out. If they've been here for many years and they're law-abiding and they're contributing to the community, my personal feeling is leave them alone, whether they're Somalian or Italian or whatever they are. If they're contributing to society and they've been here many years, no record at all. No, I'm not talking about a parking ticket or even a speeding ticket. I'm talking about, any kind of violent crime. I can understand why people feel that they should stay. And I always feel that anyone who goes seeking health care should be able to get it. Legal, illegal, whether they have insurance or don't have insurance. If we can spend billions in other countries, we should be able to do that here in the United States of America. God bless John Kennedy. He tells it how it is. Mom Donnie now, who had a nice the soon-to-be communist mayor of New York City, I can't believe I'm saying this, had a nice meeting for Trump, and it was encouraging. He probably blew it with the ad that he's got out today, basically saying, defy ICE and showing people how to get around following the law and how ICE should be able to hide, and this is how you do it. To me, that's aiding and abetting. That's coming against federal law. And not only should he not be mayor, I think he should be charged. And the same for Tim Walz. Oh, my goodness. The fraud level, they say, could reach $1 billion in, or $2 billion. And like he knew nothing about that. Not fit for the office. He and his wife, when BLM was burning buildings during the George Floyd riots, opened the windows at night so they could smell the smoke coming in from the burning buildings. He took an oath as governor to protect the people. Many of those businesses were Black-owned businesses. He has no business being anywhere near any kind of government. And I think it's more serious than that. We'll see what the DOJ does. That's it. I know I'll lose a few people that, oh, he's a MAGA. I don't agree with everything Trump believes, everything he says or does, but I think he's a great president. And I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that. All right, go to the end here now. And there you go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for a special Monday Worldwide Ramblings. We went to 2.5 hours. We did right on the money right now. And probably do Saturday night, but I'll confirm it with a promo, 10 p.m. Saturday night. Please pray for this channel. Views are down, revenue's down. Not good, not good. Hoping for better times, and will work as hard as I can. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Big God bless you. Bye-bye.